Hello and welcome to another video. My name is Konstantin Wachendorf and I'm going to show to you our app Skyle for the Skyle eye tracker for iPad. I have my Skyle right in front of me and you're going to see the screen recording from now on. And let's dive straight into it. So when you first open up the app, you can see this kind of instruction view and you can go through it. And it tells you how to set up your iPad for Skyle and to use with eye tracking, assistive touch, how you can make your icons and your view look bigger, and it's maybe easier for you to reach it. You have to set your tracking speed to the lowest. Please don't script through it like I did, because I have set it up correctly for me. And when you finish that, you can see the video stream. I'm using my glasses. And it works good for me. Let's start with the calibration. So when I press on the calibration button, it shows me some kind of pop-up and asks me how many points I want to calibrate with. We got a 5-point and a 9-point calibration. I'm going with the 9-point calibration right now, and I'm just going to look at the yellow pulsating dot that appears on the screen and just follow it through all the 9 points, like so. And when it's finished, it shows me the quality of each point. Let me just cross-check that, and as you can see, it's pretty accurate for me. I can finish that, switch on the video stream again, and as you can see, we have these horizontal and vertical guides that show you exactly the horizontal and vertical position of you. And it tells you where the green zone is. When you go to guide it, you can also check the background color, and it tells you how far away you are with an indicating color. So at the moment I'm in the green zone, which is perfect. As you can see, I'm using my glasses. So Skyle works with glasses in some cases, like so. You can see these kind of reflections, and when they cover the pupil, obviously it's not possible to track the pupil, so it doesn't work. Let's head over to settings. When you open the settings menu, you can see this general settings tab on the left side, and on the right side you see positioning, which with AR. So we have a positioning system that works with the integrated camera of the iPad and shows you additional information. So if you switch that on, for example, and head back to the main page, you'll be asked if we allowed to access the camera. You press on OK, and then when you're away, let's head over to guided, and when you're out of the tracking box, it automatically switches to the AR system. And as you can see, the eyes are still here, and it's basically the AR camera telling you, okay, you're not in the tracking box, please move into the tracking box. And when you're in the tracking box, Skyle can see you, and then you can position yourself properly. We don't need that for now, so we're going to switch that off. Then you have this calibration settings here. So you've seen the pop-up that appears when you first start the calibration, and it asks you if you want to calibrate 5 or 9 points, and you can set this explicitly. So let's switch that on. I'm usually using 9 points, so that's perfect for me. Then also you saw this yellow pointer. This is our default pointer that we use for our calibration, but you can actually switch it over to emoji. Let's do that right now, and maybe change the emoji to this parting emoji. I like that one quite well. I will show you a calibration with that emoji in a second. Here you can set an automatic standby mode, which allows the eye tracker to go into standby mode whenever the iPad does, which is really convenient to save some battery power and in general save energy. Then we got this other pause mode. Let's switch it on for a second, where you can actually look into the eye tracker directly, just in the center of the eye tracker, and the eye tracking will pause after a while. As you can see now, I'm looking away and the cursor doesn't move anymore. So if you're watching a movie, for example, you can switch that on and just look into the camera for a couple of seconds and the cursor stops moving. Now it's switched off. I cannot move the cursor anymore. And when I look into the camera now for a couple of seconds again, I can unpause eye tracking, and the eye tracking will resume and the cursor will appear. You can see that in a second. There we go. So now it's unpaused and eye tracking works as usual. You can also pause and unpause manually by tapping this button which appears underneath. Let's switch that off again. Head over to Profiles. Profiles is a page where you can set up different skill profiles for different people. And these are actually saved on the eye tracker. So if you switch the iPad, they will appear in the app of the other iPad. And what they do is they basically change the speed of the cursor and how the cursor behaves in general. So let's just get into this default profile, and you can see it's actually switched to advanced, where you can set the gaze filtering, and lower means less filtering, so the cursor is more responsive, and it's pretty responsive right now. I like it quick because I'm a little bit more advanced, but you can set it to a higher value, and as you can see it will slow down significantly. And these other two profiles here, so you have default skill and beginner skill, they actually have presets. So if I go to default, it goes slower, and if I go to beginner, it even slows down more. So that's perfect for people who just started using eye gaze as an input. And you can play around with this in advanced mode and find out what the perfect setting is for you. And yeah, so I'm gonna just stick with that. The fixation filtering is basically the movement after you fixate something. So you can see when I fixate something, the cursor moves a little bit, and when you go with less filtering, it moves much faster, as you can see now. So it's more like a jittering now behavior, but I actually like it a little bit more filtered when I'm fixating something, so I can hit it more properly. I will save that and keep it selected right here. I can actually go to my profile, which is right here. Let's just keep that on. Let's head over to the switch. I actually have connected my switch, as you can see right here. I'm using it to click because we can configure it to have the press action utilize a click. And you can actually configure this by just selecting a different action here, but I'm gonna stick with click. This page actually recognizes, I just unplugged the switch, it recognizes when the switch is connected. I will plug it back in, and as you can see, I can configure it. Let's head over to the recorder. You can actually help us improve eye tracking for everyone by just submitting a recording. And I will show you how to do that. So you click this button down here, which says improve, and then it shows you this page where you see our privacy policy, read through it carefully. It basically says that we are using your data anonymously to improve our algorithms and get out updates even faster for everyone. I'm over 16, so I'm just going to select that and accept the terms, and then I will just have a calibration performed. And as you can see, the calibration pointer changed to the parting emoji, and the recording will always do a 9-point calibration, so because we need every single point on the screen to improve our algorithms. And here you go. When you're finished, it will just download the images that were captured by Skyle, and you can see them here, review them, press next, enter a name. Let's just go with Go, because my name is Go today. Hello. And accept the terms, and upload. And this will upload this data set to our servers. And when it's finished, it will actually show here. You can press this button and look at the single pictures that it took. As you can see, you can delete this also, and it will send us an information that you want your data to be deleted on our servers, which will then which will then trigger a deletion of your data on our servers. You got this page of tutorials where you can revisit these setup tutorials that were shown in the beginning of the introduction view, and it makes your life easier when you follow those rules, because you need to set them to make eye tracking work on the iPad, and some of them are really convenient, and I'm not going into detail about them. On the About page, you see some information about the eye tracker in general, which software versions we use at the moment, and more importantly, you can actually send us some feedback. Just get in your name and your email address, and you can send us a message telling us what to improve, for example. On the update page, you can see that the app downloads an update for Skyle, for the eye tracker itself, and then a pop-up will appear right here when the download has happened, and you can read through the release notes and then decide if you like to update. This normally happens automatically. I just triggered it manually from here, but normally you will just get the pop-up, and that's it. So I just triggered an update, and the eye tracker will restart in a second. And that's basically it with the go through. It will disconnect in a second, I guess. Thank you very much for watching, and see you next time.